Rinse takes your laundry and hand delivers it to your door, expertly cleaned and folded. So you could take the time once spent folding and sorting and waiting to finally pursue a whole new version of you. Like Tea Time You. Or this Tea Time You. Or even this Tea Time You.
Said you hear about Dave?
Or even Tea Time You.
So update on Dave.
It's up to you. We'll take the laundry. Rinse. It's time to be great.
For those of the people that haven't gone and watched a trailer and read the synopsis about what this show's about, can you give them something?
It's exhilarating. It's highly propulsive. An action thriller. There's a bag of money and a gun. Who's going to get it? And then there are other really, really nuanced and beautiful moments where it is a family drama. It's really highly relatable content. Zach Balan and Kate Sussman are the two creators of the show, and really intelligent of them to make this show that's really fun to watch. And it's dark. Good guys, bad guys, that sort of shit. But threaded through all of that is this sort of emotional turmoil and this family dynamic that so many of us know all too well, even if we never talk about it.
All right, everybody, I got Chris Coy here. This one's special. He's my cousin, and he's a very successful actor. He's been in a lot of different things back in the day. He's been in so much, I'm going to miss a lot, but he's been in Treme, been in Banshee, True Blood, had a bunch of cameos in TV, been in The Walking Dead, but most recently he's got a new one coming out, co-starring with Jason Bateman and Jude Law with Black Rabbit on Netflix. Man, what's up, baby?
Hey, cuz, God, I love you. It's good to see you.
I love you too, man. Love you too. Like, how cool is it that as family, we get to hop on a show and talk about your career, and you could be on my show. Well, actually, this is the second time, but like the first time you were like wearing jorts and the show sucked. And I don't know if we're good now, but I think we're getting a little better. It's just
I think some things have amplified for both of us.
Maybe a little bit, right? Maybe a little bit. Yeah. But no, dude, it's fun that we get this opportunity to do this. So walk me through what's going on, man.
Dude, I mean, life's good on the personal side. You know, we're renovating this house. We probably bit off more than we could chew, but we're, one room at a time in it. And that's fun, learning a lot, breaking some stuff here and there. And the kids are good, happy, healthy, volleyball and jujitsu, and they're doing their thing, and I'm just loving watching. That's definitely that's
awesome.
That's the best role I've got. I know you feel the same way. Like that fatherhood stuff is just
it's the hardest though, isn't it? It's the best role, but it's the hardest role. It's where I like measure myself on the daily, how did I do today, and what kind of dinner tomorrow with them. But anyway, so they're good. Alice is good. She's still patient and tolerant of me. And, God bless her, man. What a saint.
It's true. It's true, man. God, never been happier there. And then professionally, waiting on this show to drop. It actually had its world premiere last night in Toronto at TIFF.
Yeah, TIFF. Yeah,
which was fun. I guess by the time this airs, it will have been a week ago or so. But looking good. People are liking it. But for me, I mean, it's and this is selfish, I guess, but I just love it. I love the show, and I love working on it, and dreamy, going to work every day, and all of my stuff is either with Jason Bateman or Jude Law or a combination of the two, and then the rest of my stuff is with this Academy Award winning deaf actor named Troy Kotzer, who's just an absolute icon. And so, yeah, like you get to work every day and you're with those guys across from you on camera, and then behind camera is like Jason's directing some episodes, or Laura Linney directed 2 episodes, and this guy Ben Siminoff, who was the DP for Ozark, and this guy Justin Kurtzel, who's like this huge up and coming independent film and soon to be just like a huge weapon in the industry director. And then producing wise, you got Michael Costigan and Eric Kay. Like these are all just like, those are huge names, and
I know.
And it's like such a cool feeling. And this feeling, I know you do. Going to work and being in a room and you look up or you look around and it's just all stars, and you're like, man, like, am I in the right room? And like,
dude, I know that feeling all too damn well,
you know, like,
yeah, man.
both have like humble beginnings and really kind of like, I think that, you know, you probably relate to this more than most, not just because, you know, we're family, but because I know where you come from. You know, we both like set off on this endeavor, and I think a lot of people that were in our ear who cared about us were like, maybe don't. Like, it's tough, that's hard, it's, you know, and so to end up in this place where your peers are people that you maybe once looked up to, and to feel like, despite that initial reaction of like, am I in the right room, to ultimately feel like you belong there is,
of course,
man, it's so it's a beautiful thing.
It's an interesting thing, right? Because you talked about, you know, your most of your stuff on camera, then even behind cameras with Jude or Jason Bateman, right? And so, like, you ever think, again, we both are very confident in our abilities, but also times where, like you said, am I in the right room? I know you grew up watching Jason Bateman. Now you're sitting here in this limited series with him. What is that like for you?
Dude, not even just like sitting with him. Now I'm in this limited series with like a gun in his face, being like, shut the bitch. Like, and then they're like, cut. And I'm like,
to do this my whole life.
I'm and they're like, cut. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. You okay? And he's like, you ain't motherfucker. Like, he's fucking great.
He's funny, dude. He's a talented dude, man.
And like, on and off camera, that remains constant. Like, really funny guy, highly likable, so smart, and great leader, great director, just like kind of like one of the boys, like just a good dude. Like, you really quickly forget that you're sort of standing next to this man that you've in one way or the other known your whole life and looked up to, and there's always been this separation between you.
Yeah,
he quickly puts all that to rest, and is
that's badass.
Right,
that's a true professional, man.
Yeah, and Jude is the same way, albeit a different character. Jude kind of glides by you, and you're like, oh my god, that's Jude Law. But when he glides up to you, he's just such a good man. They both are, and that's the other thing too. Is that in their personal lives too? Like, we're talking just two family men, love their kids, love their partners, you know, dedicated and loyal and disciplined. You know, we were talking about earlier.
That's amazing, dude. It's good to know that, because you see people on screen, you don't know like what they're like, you know, off camera. Like, you look at Barry Bonds, you know, he's the best baseball player ever, but you know, he has his things, right? Like, he's not very approachable. So it's always nice when, you know, you have someone on screen. Like, for me, you know, I'm not an actor yet, but I sit there and I'm going to throw that in there, but I sit there and I'm watching Jason Bateman. I'm like, I wonder what that guy's really like in real life. You know what I mean? Because you grow up and you see somebody in so many multifaceted roles. But again, like, all to say, this episode is not about him. It's about you and your experience within this series. But dude, like, I watched the trailer. Obviously, I'm watched it multiple times because you're in it like 3 times. I'm like, holy shit, you know, this is really, really cool. Drops the 18th, right? Drops the 18th. What are you allowed to share? I'm assuming you're allowed to share what's public. For those people that haven't gone and watched a trailer and read the synopsis about what this show's about, can you give them something?
Hey, we're going to take a quick break to hear from our Powered By sponsor. We're proud to announce a partnership between White Sands Treatment Centers and the Determined Society. With multiple locations across Florida, White Sands provides luxury, top-rated addiction treatment, from medical detox and inpatient care to outpatient support and long-term aftercare. Their resort-style campuses, expert clinicians, and holistic programs create real, lasting recovery. Together, we're committed to bringing hope, resources, and healing to those who need it most. White Sands Treatment Centers.
Sure. And I mean, if if this is going to come out a few days after it airs, or after it's available to the public,
it probably will.
yeah, then there's not much that I need to be
Yeah.
tight-lipped on. But for safety's sake, I mean, what I can share is that it's exhilarating. It's highly propulsive. It's very much, um, well, it's a layered show though, man. There's definitely, there are tons and tons of moments where it is an action thriller. You know, there's a bag of money and a gun, and like, you know, who's gonna get it? Who's, you know, and then there are other, God, really, really nuanced and beautiful moments where it is a family drama, where it is a story of um, siblings and the dynamic between them, and what happens when these two people who grew up in the same house ended up very different people who actually, despite growing up in the same house, maybe had two very different experiences, and that consequently led to them ending up on the opposite side of this spectrum. And is that conducive to success? And sometimes with siblings it can be, and then sometimes it can be debilitating. And how many of us have a relationship with a sibling or a family member where, man, they're fun to be around, but they're sort of toxic, and they kind of get you in trouble whenever you're with them, or, you know, they're volatile, and you might say the wrong thing that might set them off, and then, you know, and so the show is really fun to watch, and like I said, really propulsive and sort of easy to just get like locked in on. But there's also, it's really highly relatable content, because it doesn't really matter where you come from socioeconomically, even, or culturally. Like,
Starting something new is straight up scary. I remember thinking, what if this fails? What if nobody listens? But taking that leap changed everything, and having Shopify on your side makes it a whole lot easier. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates to build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you with easy email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. Best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. It's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/TDS. Go to shopify.com/TDS. That's shopify.com/TDS.
that's just a through line in families. Like, there's bound to be some drama and some volatility, and we all, directly or indirectly, know what that feels like. You know, we've either seen it or been in it before, and I think the show does a really good job of threading all of that.
That's interesting, because like, as you're going through that, like, you know, I mean, of course I have, you know, Angela, my sister, we have two different definitions of our childhood. And that's not to say hers is wrong or mine is right or vice versa, but like, every family has different dynamics. And I love the fact that you're pointing out that this show kind of shows that, because, you know, there could be 5 siblings in a house, and every single one of them is going to be different. They're going to view their parents differently. They're going to view each other differently. One's going to be closer to maybe one or two of them, and maybe despise one of them for reasons that are beyond any one of their control. To be quite honest, it's just, you know, the conditioning of the environment. So I think that's interesting, dude. That's a very dynamic piece from what I'm hearing about this film. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it's cool. And the idea too that, like, you know, those differences can arise in childhood, or as a consequence of their childhood, or even, you know, sometimes I feel like I've got 3 kids upstairs and they all grew up with the same parents and the same loving home, but they're 3 different souls. Those are 3 different beings, and they butt heads sometimes because of that. But what's sort of interesting about the show, or what some of it is about, is that no matter where we go in life, or how we grow, or how far apart we grow, some of that stuff stays. Some of that stuff stays the same. You're at 40 years old, in some ways, despite or within all the growth elsewhere, there's still that same kid in there. And like, you know, and the same pain or trauma or joy or, you know, whatever lessons you took from that childhood, like you carry those things with you all the time. And the show really kind of touches on that, you know, and how much patience do you have for this person and how much tolerance do you have? And then like, even if you run out of patience or tolerance, you still love them. You could be like addicted to this bad family member because you just love them or you feel for them or you know where they came from. And so you continuously let them back in.
It's very interesting, dude, because you're talking about we could be in our 40s. You know, we've grown so many different ways, but there's that little boy or little girl there still dealing with the trauma. It's so crazy to me because as you're walking through that, like I can think of many relationships within my family, right? Many of them. And it's like, love them, but it's also, I've grown in so many different areas, but I still hold on to certain things and it's hard to get through them. It is really hard to get, you know what I mean? Because like, how do you go back? Like, how do you circumvent and just like, hey, let's pick this back up. Like, where did we go wrong? Because you fear that the reaction is going to be the same as it was 10 years ago. So you fall into this area where like everything is just status quo and you just continue living your life and growing, but then you don't know that other person.
That's right. Yeah. And it's just a part of the human experience for so many of us. And I think that it was really smart of Zach Balin and Kate Sussman are the two creators of the show. They wrote the whole thing. And really intelligent of them to make this show that's really fun to watch, and it's dark, and there's like I said, and there's many moments where it's a bag of money and a gun and a cat and mouse and, you know, good guys, bad guys, that sort of shit. But threaded through all of that is this sort of emotional turmoil and this family dynamic that so many of us know all too well, even if we never talk about it. And so like all of a sudden you're watching this thing and you might not even tell the person you're watching it with, like, damn, that's me and my sister, or that's me and my brother. But in here,
that's interesting.
You're going to be like, I know exactly what he's feeling right now. It's
crazy because I've watched the trailer a few times, like I said. And when you're talking about like the gun and a bag of money, the intensity, the darkness, but then Bateman will throw in some fucking weird humor. You know, like he showed up at the thing, he's sitting there with no shoes on. Like, I got a good price on the bus. He's like, you sold your fucking shoes on the bus. He's like, I'm chipping away at this motherfucker. You know, and it's just, I'm doing my part. And it's just like, he's super serious because his back's against the wall, but it's still funny ass Jason Bateman.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I think that, you know, he's such a brilliant performer, and he's so circling back to the experience of working with him. Like, he's so fun to work with because of that. He's real loose, and Jude plays it that way too, fast and loose. Like, yeah, we've done our work because we're disciplined people. We've done our prep. We know the scene back and forth. We know my lines, your lines, his lines, her lines. Now we're here. Let's let all of that go and play, and we'll just see where we land, where we end up, what comes out organically in this moment. And so many times kind of what naturally falls out of Jason's mouth is like, it's right on tone and it's perfectly fitted in that moment and in that scene, but it's also just like, it's funny. And that's such weaponry to have, and he knows that. He's a self-aware artist, and he'll just whip that shit out whenever he wants to, and he'll break you in the scene sometimes. But he's hip to that too. He knows he's gonna, and you break, and he's like, okay, you ready? Let's take it back, and then we go again, and he says the same thing again, and it lands and works, and you know. And he's fun to work with as a director too, for those reasons, because he wants you to play like that, and that brings that elevates your own performance. You know, again, as long as you've done all the prep work and you've done your job and you've shown up. Tom Hanks years ago, there's an interview where he said, and I think he said that he heard somebody else say this, but he says, you know, your job is show up on time, know your lines, and have an idea. And And unfortunately, there's so many times where I've ended up on set and whoever I'm across from hasn't done those things. And it ultimately just makes it's not good for them. The rest of us will figure out a way around that. But he's a great director to work with if you have done those things, because he wants your idea and like he wants you to play. He wants, you're like, what if I did that? He's like, don't even tell me, just go. Let's go. Let's see what happens. And like, man, that's so conducive to success on camera.
That's pretty cool, because we had a conversation on the phone the other day. I said, I don't know if I'd ever be able to memorize like line for line for line. He's like, no, dude, like the great ones, they have an idea, they've done their work, but then they just go with what feels naturally. How much of that really happens on camera?
A ton. I mean, it can be specific to the set. There are certainly sets you're on where it's a little more rigid, where it's a little more or a lot more about the writing. And, like we work on a David Simon show, like Treme or the Deuce. You don't mess with David Simon or George Pelecanos' writing because they're brilliant, or Richard Price. You're talking about these guys are novelists and journalists, and like words are their weaponry. And so like, don't mess with those, because there's rhythm and beats built into the words. It's like Shakespeare. Like just say the text.
Just do it. Just memorize the shit and do it.
And do it.
What did you? This character, your role that you played in this series, what did you learn about yourself? Because I know like a lot of times, man, talk about actors and actresses, they take on the role, right? They take on that personality. Was there any of that going on? And basically like what did this role teach you?
Yeah. What's great about Babbitt, my character's name is Ryan Babbitt. And a lot of the times in my career, which I'm grateful for, I've been really lucky to do a lot of character work. Like I've played a lot of characters and or real people that didn't look like me or sound like me or walk like me, or and certainly in my more villainous work, like that didn't feel like me at all, where I'm doing mental Olympics to justify their actions because every bad guy thinks he's saving the world in his own way. Like bad guys don't think they think they're the hero. And with Babbitt, I didn't have to do a lot of that, or I didn't have to do much like soul searching to find this guy, because he's a smart guy who's maybe too smart to be this like callow, amateurish criminal, but he got into some trouble right out of high school, and so he couldn't go to college, or he could go to college, but he didn't think he was going to be able to get a good job because he spent some time in prison, and he gets out, and what he has done while he's in prison is he's developed a relationship via loyalty and keeping his mouth shut to this crime boss played by Troy Kotzer. And so that's obviously different from my life, albeit that I had some checkered years and I had some moments, and so I could pull from those experiences to relate to Ryan. But other than that, he's really like, he's a good man who's ended up in an unsavory profession. And he's doing his best to like get to a higher place in life, which me too. Like I'm just trying to elevate every day. I'm just trying to, what can I do to make this all work a little smoother and be a little easier, and Babbitt is doing the same thing. But oftentimes with characters, I like to find a way that they're a better man than me, or they're better at something than I am, to then give me incentive to like get better. Like, let me not only, take this character and try and deliver it properly on screen, but how can I utilize this character work and capitalize on something to better myself? And I could go into the ways that other characters have done that for me. But with Babbitt, I felt like he's he's more disciplined than me, maybe. And in the moment when I was building him, I was like, okay, obviously, like, I want him to be big and dangerous and jacked, and so, like, I'm going to work out. But I've done that before. I've ripped up guys for character work before, and so I was like, what's even more, like, what? And then what's maybe surprising about him? And I was like, well, my counterpart in this show, I have like a partner in crime, and he's a bit of an addict, and it's not in any way that's like a big, it's not a big story point or anything like that. It's just there. And the reason that you sort of get away with it just being there is because the audience, or even, me, the audience, as I'm reading the script, and it's like, he does a bump of cocaine. You don't even go like, oh, he's an addict. He's a criminal. And so you're like, oh yeah, of course he's doing it. And it means nothing to you. And so for me, I was like, what if with Babbitt, he's fully sober and clear, and he doesn't just work out. He's paleo, and he doesn't drink alcohol, and he has never done a drug. Like, he is a consummate professional in this dirty, grimy criminal underworld. And yeah, and ultimately what it did is that, I look better, I think, on screen on this show than I've ever looked, because I'm healthier than I ever was. But what I learned about myself as a consequence of that action was that those things work, and that I feel better when I'm healthy and when I'm sober. And I mean, God, this is revelatory. I don't know if anybody's ever said this out loud before, but I replaced alcohol with water, and I feel amazing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't touch alcohol, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, like, I got to tell you, man, like, I went through my own journey, man. And it's almost like, you go through these points in times where you look at your life, you're like, why am I stuck? Like, why am I not elevating to where I want to be?
Starting something new is straight up scary. I remember thinking, what if this fails? What if nobody listens? But taking that leap changed everything, and having Shopify on your side makes it a whole lot easier. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates to build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you with easy email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. Best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. It's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/TDS. Go to shopify.com/TDS. That's shopify.com/TDS.
Because the potential that you have. I think everybody, if they sit there and say, like, I really don't know what I'm capable of, I just think they're afraid to voice it out loud or even to acknowledge it, because then they have to move on it, right? So the fear takes over. But like, I had to get on fat, bro. Like, I was like, this is too much. I have to watch what I eat. I have to work out constantly, and I have to lean the hell up. And the moment I did that, everything for me changed. Like, literally everything, because dude, it brings the level of discipline, and the type of confidence you build when you're doing something very, very difficult. It's like the one thing, right? For me, that's what my one thing was. For you or for somebody else, it might be something completely different. Could be they just need to read more, but they're stuck and they don't, right? Sure. And once you take care of that one thing that cleans up your side of the street, like, you never grow to a point that you're supposed to. But like, dude, when you talk about replacing alcohol with water, like, man, like, I used to be the point where the only time I'd really drink would be college football season. Mm-hmm. We've just completed week 3. I've had 0 drinks. Like, I just don't, dude, honestly, like, I'm not against people drinking. I'm not this, I never had a problem, but like, I just don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me sluggish. I'm not as dialed in. I'm not as disciplined. So why the hell would I do it? If it doesn't make my boat go faster, I ain't touching it. Right.
And I'm okay with the language that I've gotten older and it affects me more or whatever. Like, I just know that similarly, you're talking about football season, like yesterday, opening Sunday, I'm at a buddy's house for like football day. We're all watching. 3/4 of them are beer drinkers, bourbon drinkers, whatever. I don't even think anybody noticed that I drank 12 seltzer waters. and nothing else.
No.
But I would have noticed had I had a beer, and I just don't have a desire. That's not necessarily true. It's not that I don't have a desire to have a beer every now and then or something still, but I just know that I don't really need it, and that like I'll feel better tomorrow if I don't. And I have kind of gotten addicted to that. I've gotten addicted to feeling kind of better every day. And in my workouts, like it's just like kind of like you said, man, like once I eliminated that thing, it's wild how societally like we're sort of conditioned, even via movies and television shows or whatever, like just people are always drinking. They're just always grabbing a beer, drinking, and again, I got no issue with anybody who drinks, to each their own. But we're sort of conditioned to think that like it's not really that big of a deal. And it's out of whack how much better it made me feel when I stopped doing it, if indeed it's not really a big deal. And I was lucky physically, like you said earlier, like, I've always worked out and I maintain pretty well, and via my occupation, like it pays me to stay fit. And so I stayed fit through those years while I was still drinking. And so I didn't have this in the mirror reminder that like, yo, that you should stop doing this. But it's still, man, like as soon as I stopped, like I wake up better. My workouts are easier. My progress after the workout comes faster. My thoughts are quicker and clearer. My vocabulary increased. Like it was like so many things like just started feeling like, oh, all of my functions are operating at a higher capacity now. And
well, now you can do your job better too.
Exactly. Like why would I ever go back? It's like I turned up the volume cerebrally a little bit, and now I'm addicted to that feeling. And God,
I love that, dude. Yeah. Dude, turned up the volume cerebrally. That is a great explanation for it. I'm just so much more in touch with certain things. Like even my intuition. Right. Like I'm very locked in on it now. Whereas before, I could be wrong about. I'm not saying I'm 100% on. I'm not. Yeah. Jackie will tell you that she's way more on intuition than I am. But like,
how many figures am I holding up over here?
17.
It's just one.
So just one. Dang it. So I was missing just the one. There he is. Chris is finally here. Threw me the bird on the camera. God dang, man. I love you. I love you, man. I'm really excited to see this, man. Like, okay, so you said you loved it. You said you loved it. You got to screen it. You've seen it.
Yeah.
Everything. I almost asked you last time, I'm like, give me your login to your Netflix, bitch. But no. Yeah. Hey.
They're hip to that. It only works on one device.
I know they are. Gosh, it's like the freaking the Netflix police. Nah, dude. I'm gonna wait until it comes out. It's only a couple weeks, dude. So I'm jacked up about it.
And it all I always love the characters, but you can just sit there.
Oh, you're not doing the 2 episodes like and then hold me out for a week.
I guess Netflix doesn't really do that. Netflix drops it all at once, and it's globally with this one. So like following,
they do that.
Yeah,
they do that on the damn Love Is Blind. It pisses me off. They do
maybe. Okay, sure. Well, with us,
me, dude. I love my reality shows.
Yeah,
I love my reality shows. That's good, man. So Jackie will wake up in the middle of the night, see me on night 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
How many episodes is it?
It's 8 episodes.
Lovely. Good.
And it's pretty fast paced. Kind of hard to put down. Okay. But then like with enough relief in there to kind of like where you stop sweating, and let your heart rate come down, and enjoy some drama, and then then here we go again.
There was one show, I can't remember what it was, like my heart rate was up the whole damn time. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was Adolescence.
Oh yeah. People love that show. I haven't seen it yet.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It parallels real life so much, dude. And I was actually on Piers Morgan's show, and we talked about that the first time I was on, and it was just like my first exposure to like big media, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like this is, people are actually literally talking about Hollywood impacting real life. And I've seen it in so many different areas. Like you look at the Menendez brothers, right? That limited series came out and they got a retrial, right? They got a resentencing or whatever. And then, Amy Bradley disappears on a cruise how many years ago? Now, we think she's alive.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
So we think we saw her. Now that thing's back open. So I don't think people realize how impactful Hollywood truly is, man. And it's just really cool. Even if it's, a show like yours where it's fiction, right? But it parallels real life so much that it gets people to think. I think those are the best shows.
Yeah, me too. Again, that's why I'm really, really proud to be a part of this one for that reason. I think that in the home, in the living room, where they're watching the show, there's going to be a lot of people who maybe don't feel seen in their trauma when they're watching TV or movies as much as this is going to kind of touch them. And there's a lot of different characters in the show. It's a big ensemble, and everybody kind of has their own struggle they're going through, and that's talked about in the show. And there's going to be a lot of people, I think, that when they're watching it are going to be like, man, I'm Jake, or I'm Vince, or I'm, it's really, really, it's cool, man.
There was one show that everybody always compared himself to. Do you know what that show is? Friends.
Yeah.
You're what I'm talking about? Like somebody's like, oh, I'm Joey. We're like, nah, bitch, you're Ross.
Yeah. And I was going to say, everybody thinks they're one person and anybody around them is like, no, you're definitely Chandler.
Dude, my wife goes, and of course, Jackie, but she goes, who am I? Who am I in this? I'm like, are you serious? And she goes, yeah. I go, dude, you're fucking Monica. You're OCD.
So you're about to make a trade based on a friend's text. But which you do you listen to? Is it, we could buy a house in Tulum? Get optioning those options. We could lose everything. Or let's do a little research. Get your head in the trade and make the investment decision that's right for you. Learn more at finra.org/trade smart.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Oh, 1,000%. It's 1,000%.
She even like kind of looks like Monica or something. There's like a little bit of, I feel like there's a little bit of Monica maybe in there.
Yeah, maybe. I want to know that. She's like, I'm Hispanic. Courtney Cox is not Hispanic.
We know.
Like, oh, here we go with the Hispanic.
Yeah.
Heard.
Yeah.
But dude, as we start landing the plane here, I think I read somewhere that you have something else coming out in 2026. Are you allowed to talk about that?
Sure.
Or
yeah. That was which I shot at the same exact time, which was maybe the most baller I've ever felt. Like
that's badass, dude.
I was in New York shooting Black Rabbit, and they would have to like schedule me out and wrap me so I could race to the airport, hop on a flight, fly to Atlanta, and then film this movie with Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. And it's called Flowervale Street. And they've released some photos and stuff. So I can say that it's like it sort of presents itself as like a family drama, but then at a certain point it becomes this epic dinosaur film.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Were you a T-Rex?
What's that?
Were you a T-Rex?
Pterodactyl. Yeah. I got wings, baby.
Yeah. We got wings.
But so yeah, that'll come out it's like a year from now. It's like August of 2026 because it's an IMAX release. And so for whatever reason, that incentivized them to lock in this date quite a bit down the road. But
that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I got to play a bit with her and Ewan McGregor, and
that's sick.
Both fine people. Ewan and Jude were roommates when they were in their early 20s in London. It was the two of them.
No way.
Yeah, the two of them and Angelina Jolie, and
in one apartment, one house,
one flat in London. Wow. And Johnny Lee Miller, who ended up marrying Angelina years later, but. Yeah, the four of them are all in this apartment in their 20s before any of them made it. And
so wild.
Ewan was like telling me stories about, Jude was like the loser who's sleeping on the couch who never paid his rent. And like, I would be in Atlanta and Ewan would like tell me a story, and then I would fly back to New York and I'd relay that story to Jude, and he'd be like, "Yeah, that's true. Did he tell you I stole?"
Dude, you're the shit star. You were stirring shit.
I was kind of a little bit, but like that's on great. This like major league level, like it was like,
oh, absolutely, it's the big leagues.
It was so much fun.
Yeah,
it was like
dude, that's freaking awesome.
And they were awesome, both great sports about it, and it was fun.
Well, that's good, man, dude. I thank you for coming on, man, and talking to us about Black Rabbit, dude. I love you too, man. This is such a blessing, bro.
So good to see you.
I can't wait to see you on the screen, dude.
I want to get you. I want to get you and the family out here to the house too. Let's do a little. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll text you or call you here after, and we'll set something up.
Yeah, dude. Hit me up tomorrow. Actually, I'm slammed the rest of the day, but hit me up tomorrow. We'll get with Jackie and we'll do it. Because I need some time with my cuz, bro.
Yeah, man.
I need some time with my cuz.
Come see the farm.
That'd be fun, dude. Spend like a week there. We should do like a week.
Do it. Yeah.
I'm down. Trust me.
You stay much longer than a week, and I'll like make you help me with renovations and shit. So like a week's like a nice.
I'll bring my tidy whities. I don't have any. I'll go buy some.
Okay.
And you'll wake up and you're like, Alice was shaking her head and you're like, what's going on? She goes,
I was wondering how long into the interview we would get before it got real nice and weird. I mean,
yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. A lot longer than I thought. But we're both a little more locked down than we were. Like we have to be a certain way now.
We've grown up. We've grown up. I'm proud of us.
I mean, imagine that, dude. Imagine that we grew up actually. That shit's crazy.
Before we go, I gotta say, man, speaking of growing up, you're just earlier talking about Jay Leno and you were on Truce Morgan and all that stuff. Like, I know you, bro. I remember. I know, where we came from. And like, it's so beautiful watching you become emblematic of what your show represents. Like you are the Determined Society. You are you're not just the host. You're the mascot. You're such a picture of determination. It's a beautiful thing. And I mean that. I love you. I'm proud of you, man.
Well, thank you. I mean, I get compliments from time to time, but to hear it come from family that knows my struggle, knows my demons, knows everything about me, it means more, dude. So thank you, dude. And likewise, man, I know where you've come from. I've known what you've gone through, and to see you out there still killing it. And you mentioned something earlier in the show. Maybe don't go do that. I remember those moments. I remember when there was this massive like drama around you graduating early in the administration at the time of the high school you went to. I don't want to put them on blast, but fucking Google search, guys. It's not that hard. But like I look at it and I always kind of sat there and I'm just like, what's the big deal? Like, he has a dream. Like, if someone told me right now, like, or back then, like, I can't remember what song to. I think I might have been talking to my mom. And I go, if someone told me right now to go grab a bat and catcher's glove in a catcher's mitt and report to the Oakland Athletics, I would have done it in 2 seconds. So I commend you, dude, because it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, dude.
No, they held like a meeting with the administrators at school and brought me, which again, that's what I was saying earlier. It was like the people who cared about us. It wasn't Joe Schmo being like, you shouldn't do that. You know, it's a pipe dream. It was like people who were intelligent enough to sort of read the stats and cared enough about us they thought they were being protected. But yeah, like, you know, that principal and several other administrators sat me down and were like, you have other options. There's scholarship here, and there's, you know, you should go do something else. And looking back and really in the moment, I remember being like proud of that moment as well. But in hindsight, even more so, like, I love that I was just like, sorry, not sorry, guys. I'm going.
You never wavered. You there was not ever a question of what you were going to do.
Yeah. I mean, this is maybe too personal and only, you know, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but that was grandma, you know. Grandma was in this year my whole life being like, you can do anything, man. You tell them all to go to hell. Go get it, baby. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're still working on it, but now I pass down those same sentiments to my kids. You know, I tell them all the time, like, I'm a dreamer and I'm still working on it, but like, I'm every day right in front of you. There's proof that, like, it can be done. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. You can figure this shit out.
You'll appreciate this, man. So this morning, you know, every Monday I take the kids to school because Jackie has meetings and she can't take them. So I take them, get in there a little bit later. And Mia was sitting there. I was eating with her this morning, right? She goes, I am so lucky to have you as my dad. And I'm like, nah, kid, it's the other way around. I'm lucky that you're my daughter because you make me the father I am. You, your brother, and your sister. She goes, no. She goes, I was at school the other day and my friend came up to me and said, your dad is the determined society. That is so cool. And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Dude, Mia's freaking 6. She's in kindergarten. I'm like, Mia, I think you have it messed up. I don't think your friend came to school talking about me and my show. She goes, he did. You're friends with his mom. Call his mom. I'm like, this is wild to me. And he goes, you know, Daddy, it's just really cool because you just help people. And I think that I don't think I'm anything special. I truly don't, man. But when you're saying like you pass it down to your kids, it came up with that thought because, you know, I have 3 just like you, you know, 2 girls and a boy. Dude, our karma, 4 girls between the 2 of us. Jesus Christ. But I look at it and it's just like each one of them has their own set of abilities and talents. Like Mia for her entrepreneurship project, like, well, she's not in kindergarten. She's in 1st grade. I apologize. She, I guess, got done with kindergarten last year. Great dad I am. Here we go. Well, her project, she's like, I want to do an entrepreneur project, but I want to do it with you. And I was like, okay, what do you want to do? She goes, Panda Talk. I'm like, what's that? She goes, my podcast. Let's build it. I'm like, what? So we did a poster board of, you know, this whole concept of Panda Talk, but, you know, helping children get through their big feelings and how to communicate them to their peers and their parents and their teachers. And so like, I'm doing this with her and I'm like, why do you want to do this? She goes, because you show me it's easy. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't get too deep with it. I'm like, God, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. Mm-hmm. But like, you make
it look easy, man.
That's cool. I don't know about that, dude. I appreciate that. But God, you know, I look at some of the old stuff and I'm like, I can't even go back.
But I think that's anybody. Yeah. Like if you don't, if you're not looking back on this path you're on and seeing some wreckage back there, I mean, then you probably weren't. You probably weren't. You know, doing something risky or hard enough. You know, it should be kind of messy back there. You know.
Yeah,
I love that you're just now finding out that. I love that you're just now finding out that most of the demographic that watches your show is elementary school kids. We all knew that.
We're like-minded. You're the same maturity level, you know? Yeah, exactly. There's They're not playing up to me. I can tell you that. I'm going down to them. Yeah. It was just kind of amazing to me. I was like, well, I don't see that on my analytics. I think he's lying. He's a little liar.
Yeah.
Maybe he's using his parents' account. Nah, but dude, this has been such a fun time for me, man. And
Same.
I'm super excited for your show to come out. And I just can't wait, dude. Can't wait. So let me ask you one more quick question here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a determined society, right? And I want to know what your true definition of determination is.
I think that this goes back to, this is sort of a theme throughout what we were talking about, I feel like, but it's always discipline for me, man. It's that motivation comes and goes and is an externally created force. It's, things around you are going good, or you see something that you're inspired by and it motivates you, or, the inverse, life's been exhausting and you're tired and you're unmotivated now. But discipline comes from within, and for me, I'm always trying to focus on what can I control. I can decide that I'm working out whether I feel like it or not. I can, and we could go into microcosms of that, whatever it is, getting in the ice bath, like, God, I don't want to fucking do this right now, but we're getting in because I said so. And then once we're in, we're staying in for the full 5 minutes because I said so. And my mind and my body might be like, get out. But that thing in me that's actually driving, your soul, your whatever you want to call it, because I said so, man, we're not stopping.
Man, dude, that fires me up, bro, because that right there is something that I want the audience to really write down, because I said so. Because there's something going on in their life right now that they say, you know what, I'm going to do this tomorrow, but then tomorrow comes and they don't do it. So what happens in those moments is you tell yourself that you can't trust yourself. Like if you break your word to yourself, and you can lie to people, and which I know what you mean. I'm not saying go lie to people, but you can. They may not never know the truth, but when you break a promise to yourself. And it's usually those moments you break the promise to yourself, you miss out on the opportunity for growth and success. So because I said so, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's it.
And consistently doing so. I think that the other, I quoted Tom Hanks earlier. I might as well do Denzel too. Those are my two favorite guys. And I go back to this a lot. Denzel, and he has been filmed and quoted saying this in multiple venues and scenarios, but he says, dreams without goals are just dreams, and ultimately they fuel disappointment. And on the road to achieving your goals, you must apply discipline, and more importantly, consistency, because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish. And that is, I think, a huge part, or that philosophy, the idea that aside from my discipline, the only other highly crucial ingredient is consistency, because I can be disciplined today, but if I'm not tomorrow, we're fucking up. So
it's not what you can do once, man. It's what you can do repeatedly, for an extended period of time, long after the emotion wears off, right? Like that's the key. That's the key. I didn't want to do rack pulls today. I didn't want to do sled pulls. I didn't want to do belt squats. I wanted to do arms, but I did the thing that I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key. So, all right, my man, I appreciate you, buddy. Hang tight after we're done recording, but for the audience, Black Rabbit on Netflix, go check it out. Go check my cuz Chris Coy out, and send him some love. Until next time, guys, stay determined.
Next up is a little song from CarMax about selling a car your way.
You want to sell those wheels, you want to get a CarMax instant offer.
So fast.
Want to take a sec to think about it.
Or like a month.
Want to keep tabs on that instant offer.
With Offer Watch.
Want to have CarMax pick it up from your driveway. Get it done today. You want to do
So, want to drive? CarMax. Pickup not available everywhere. Restrictions and fee may apply.